Okay, so it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm recovering from another meltdown. I think I've had 3 meltdowns in the past, like, 48 hours or something. It's like, fuck, man, I am feeling so, overly intense. But one thing is it really, I can see how it's to see me, how I can see myself and understand myself. And what's so trippy too is even when I'm going through the process of understanding myself, this was, I think, significant because I'm going through the process of looking at myself, of my own behaviors, accepting myself, and stuff like that. And then I was seeing, it was like in my mind, like this is all this conversation and stuff, like I'm always talking to all these people. And so I've never been alone since I was 3 years old. That's the thing. Like once you know that they're out there talking, you start talking with them. And so I was looking at my behavior, my meltdown, and why am I feeling so burdened or overrun or whatever the fucking thing is, I'm going through all this stuff and looking at myself and looking at myself. And then I was like, okay, so it's so I could like do better to stop being that. But the message back was no. You don't want to just stop being something because then you're saying that something isn't good enough. So you want to stop being this side of yourself. And I was like, oh, that made so much sense to me. It was like, oh, okay, so it isn't about just like, let me see, because mine was, yesterday I had 2, because one of them I got a box of stuff. I had this new hat. I thought it was so cute. And I was trying on my stuff and everything. And then so then later I find that the dogs have gotten the hat and tore it all up in the thing. Oh my God. And Archie is a fucking clothes thief. He likes to get my slippers. So those I don't give a shit about. I go through slippers so fast because it's so wet. I wear them all the time. And but he likes to grab them and take them out and throw them around. But I have caught them because Max gets himself involved too. And I don't know how much of him is the instigator. I think it's mostly little terror machine over there. As that guy is a terror, but he's also a puppy. But God, he's a character. Oh my God. He is such a gremlin. And so I've gotten my clothes out here, tearing them up. One of the shirts it's like, I'm not getting rid. I love the fabric. And it's like, oh, there's got to be something else I can do. So, but then my brand new hat. So I picked up that hat up and I'm like, who did this? Who did this? I'm yelling at them. They're both just sitting there. They stop exactly what because they're out here terrorizing out here when I went in there. And so I come out here with my hat and I'm so pissed off and I'm yelling at them. Or they followed me in there. I don't remember. I started yelling and they just went like, and they, because I'm usually, they don't have, because there's not other people around or anything. It's like, I don't know, there's a more peacefulness. Like if you're in a house and you've got dogs and there's family and stuff, people yell at each other and stuff. But here it's like, monotone, and then all of a sudden I raise my voice and it's like, what the fuck is happening? The fucking earthquake. And so they're both just sitting there and I'm giving them the lecture of a lifetime and I would tear up my clothes and all this stuff. So I'm just going off. And and Max is so trippy too, is Max has these beautiful brown eyes, but he's always like so engaged. There's something tripping me out. And I started even thinking, Winston had a certain characteristics in his personality. And he had to, some of his injury or energy must linger. Like we must leave energy lingering. Like I know we do. Like I know this chair is picked up on all this energy. And that I've sat here every morning for 4 years doing this. But the energy imprint that is left by somebody, then the other animal, if it doesn't pick up on it, because so many people have said, you know, like they've had a pet die and then they get a different one and the other one will start acting like the other one. And so I was thinking about that and it was like, oh, so Winston left energy. And then like what I was talking about yesterday with the dark energy, like looking for a home in the future because it's all dried up here. And they're commenting, flying around, looking for someplace to land. It's the, and how when it goes in, it's the energy. So the energy goes out and then it depends on how strong the energy is to the reality. Like here, how such a negative charged reality is become so primary, and that's what has got me. Just I'm so fucking burnt out on it. I'm so fucking burnt out on it. And that is also where I see the split. It's the positive and the negative. It is the positive and the negative, and they're having different reactions to the different scenarios. And that is like where we think of the split. It's like two different, like I was saying yesterday, the two different philosophies. It's two different ways of looking at things. And it's becoming clear the two are opposed or something. Like we're looking at each other like, what the fuck? But it is like it's becoming apparent because of the flipping. And there still is going to be what was uncomfortable. It is going to flip. So how it's so fucking uncomfortable at this point in this negative charge. And when it flips, it's going to be so much more comfortable for people who have been positive charge. And then, but in the negative charged people are going to feel so uncomfortable. But that is what I see. And the split is it's like two different ways of looking at life. It's like, because it was standing out to me yesterday was, or like this week, was like if somebody is abused and then some people turn it into positive and some people turn into victim. And I've said this all along, but it just keeps going more and more clear to me. And so the victim mentality, the negative charge and the positive charge, and those are just two different ways of seeing it. But anyways, and it's kind of like the glass, this way that they told us stuff back in it was so much different. Like there was a period of time or something where things were becoming more about your sixth sense and telepathy and all of it. It was different. I don't know. It's weird. It was like the 80s and 90s, this big drug thing. And this, yeah, it was definitely like the gay movement thing, because that opened up it was like they used that because then they opened it up to push more into what they have, like where people, it's not about love anymore. It's about just sex. Just like, oh, I would bang them. Yeah, I'd fuck them. Yeah, fuck them. You know, it is like, yeah, we've become very shallow and artificial and superficial. So superficial. So so anyways, it's the two energies, and those two are becoming quite clear to each other. That's the two charges, and but we're in the flip. Like it's going to become more comfortable, but Jesus fucking Christ, and in the dark, it's got so much stagnation too. But anyways, and then my other meltdown thing where I was seeing myself. So in that one, I was definitely feeling just frustrated. And I don't know. It definitely can make me feel very used. And it's so weird. But that is obviously inside of me. And it keeps coming up. It's something that I have experienced. And so it's like, it's going to keep pushing that and pushing that and pushing that. So it keeps coming up. So I keep releasing and releasing how I, this whatever hold it has over me. And so, The clothes one, I was really trying to get them uh, to listen about the clothes. Like, you've got baskets of toys, and stay out of my fucking. Uh, oh yeah, and while I was doing that, they run out here, get in my fire thing, grab the egg crate, which is such a good thing. The egg crates are such good fire starter. But come out here and it's just tore up everywhere. So that was why I came out here. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm cleaning one mess up. They run out and start doing another one, and they just get all rowdy and out of control. And it's so funny too, because if Stella's in the house, she will jump up and she will get in their face and she will just bark and bark and bark and bark. And they'll stop, they'll sit down, and she won't stop. She won't stop. And I was thinking, oh, she's kind of like me, because I was ranting last night. Oh, well, tonight, a few hours ago. It was like the second wake up. The night before on my meltdown, it was so ridiculous. I never even told that one, because she woke me up. I'm totally out of it. And she goes to go outside. She comes back in. I'm lay back down or something. She gets back up, walks around, wants to go back outside. I say no. It's totally storming, like it's torrential downpour. And I say, no, you just went outside. And so then, see, I'm having to get more awake and more awake and more awake. And then she won't stop. She's beating the bells. And she keeps breaking them off. Like, I've had to fix these bells so many times. That's crazy. But so I'm fuming at that point. I am motherfucking fuming. Are you kidding me? So I go, let her out again. And I told her, you better hurry up. So, no. She decides that she's just going to go out and just walk around for a while. Just go search around, do stuff. I don't even know what else she was doing. It was so cold and so windy and so downpouring. My whole porch is sopping wet. Every fucking thing is wet. My yard keeps filling up like a pond. Yesterday when I ran up to the store, all these yards were ponds. I just saw a video. Snohomish Valley is flooded now. So even when I got up yesterday, I would ask the neighbor if she was going to be driving the bus today. And she's like, no, it's late start. So I was like, oh, I want to hurry and get going then before I have to get stuck behind the fucking bus. And then, but I wanted to know what the roads were like. And so when I went out, because they get washed out and stuff. So when I went, though, the roads seemed fine. There wasn't any trees across them or anything like that. But down in the other valley, and that one was pretty much just hit over in that area is the same area that the cyclone hit. They hit these same places over and over, and there's usually super, like a lot of people live over in some of these areas. Over here, like maybe not right down in the valley where the river flooded, I'm not sure. But like over here by me, it's not as many people. Is like if you go right out from Seattle, like, because up here you go out, we would be more considered going out from Bellingham, I think. So we're up like in a different kind of area in the state. We're at the top of the state, and it's and this is like, I live outside of a ski resort, so the people all coming out here going skiing. And I just saw a video. Which pass was that? Oh, I think it was Mammoth. Ms. Mammoth, and all these people are up there trying to give us a fucking blizzard. I don't even know. Like, that just seems so dangerous. But somebody was showing a video, and there was people up there, and it was like practically white out. So there's like a mindlessness or something. There's just a indulgence. Like, I gotta live it. I gotta do it all or something. I don't know. And maybe that's what their soul is feeling or something, you know. And that's, you know, what they're here to do. You got to do it. You got to get in touch with yourself. And, you know, some of these people where we think that they're just sleeping or something because they're not aware of stuff. I mean, some of them are in touch with a lot of it's impulses, though. It's like being impulsive. Like, oh, I want to go do this. I want to go do that. I'm not going to think about anybody else or think about anything else. Because I was even thinking about, like, how many gay people, because I have some in my family and stuff, who travel, how often do they go and look up and see if gay couples are received well in the area? Like, that seems like it would be a pertinent thing in our world today, especially in this awakening when you find out how many people are very much against that, and that you can be in danger in some places. I don't know. So, as I'm saying, there's just kind of like I want to do what I want. I want to have fun. I want to do this. I want to, you know what I'm saying? But everybody's going to get a longer look at themselves. And so, anyways, so when she went out there and she just kept staying out there and staying out there, I was so fucking pissed. And I felt so much, like, nobody fucking cares about me. Nobody cares about me. Like, I'm just here just to cook and clean and make sure that they have everything they need, but nobody gives a fuck about me. And so I was just going into that energy kind of. And it was, I don't know, I was creating me into, what always feels like it's motivating me to get pissed is I want to fucking sleep. I just want to fucking sleep. It seems like such a simple motherfucking thing. Just to go to sleep and just sleep. But it's not. And especially like if you have 3 dogs, then like I am at my max, no, for sure. And it's funny, Max. Last night though, yeah, Max was the instigator of my meltdown. Because Stella was she was getting up, and so that's when Max decides he's gonna go get into her bed. And then every motherfucking time, Stella won't come out. If someone's in her bed, she won't go and just go and get into her bed and push them out like a normal dog. No. She will go and stand at the bed and cry. Because I've got to get up and get them out of her bed. Because she's not going to do it. Because I live with the fucking princess. And so, I go get him and and this is the thing is like, it's Archie. I can say, Archie, get up, get out of her bed. She wants in her bed. Archie will get up and get out of her bed. And I always am telling Stella, just go and get in the bed. Just get in the bed. But see, all this gets you more woke up. And it's just like, go get in the bed. Just get in the bed and he will move. And, one day she did do it. I was just like, kept saying it. And finally she did it. And he did. But like every time she just walks up and just sits and cries. And so she's just not a fighter. She's a whiner, but she's a bitcher. Like, she is a bitcher, boy. But I apparently, I think she takes after her mother. And so, so I'm just wanting to go back to sleep. And Stella's already woken me up a couple times. And she gets up and she already knows, like, oh, mom's gonna be fucking bitching her head off again. And so she just goes down to the bedroom. So Max jumps up and gets into her bed. And I don't remember if I said something right then. I don't remember what it was, but definitely when she came back, then I was like, okay, Max, you gotta move. And he won't. He'll just stay there. And so then I try and go and push him and get him up, and he just slumps back in. And it's like, dude, God, it should not be this difficult. I have to push him up out of the fucking bed to get him over on his bed. And then, so at that point already, because I was like, Stella turns around. I don't remember. She was already like, hell no. And so I remember she went back to the bedroom, I think. And whatever it was. Oh, yeah. And then Max gets back up out of his bed and jumps back into her bed. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So that just started me on another lecture. Only it's loud. Before I was lecturing, though, I was so fucking pissed because it was like, I just want to go to sleep. And I was just start doing the fire and I'm throwing things down. And it's like, I'm sure to them, I seem like a psychopath. You know, I guess I'll see that in the life review, or I don't know, when I'm looking in Max's eyes, I definitely am getting the feedback. Okay, psychopath. And then he was just like, he goes over and he's standing down on the hall. Then he comes over here and he's standing. You know, I just keep throwing things in the fire. Just want to fucking sleep. Nobody fucking cares about me. It's like, are you motherfucking kidding me? And anyways, I was up for a long fucking time. And the thing that always gets me too is like, they'll push me and push me and push me to get up, get up, get up, get up. So I get up, and then by the time I'm awake, I can't, like, they'll just go lay back down and they're just like out. I'll lay there for a motherfucking hour at least, or hour and a half, especially after I've had and I'm pissed off. Now I got the goddamn adrenaline. And I have had plenty of nights where it's like, okay, no matter what, I am not getting mad. It doesn't matter what happens. I'm just going to stay calm because I want to go back to sleep immediately. But some nights, and that's what I was saying, it's like this energy. It's like the craziest thing. I have not had so many meltdowns in so long. And it always goes back to the same thing of feeling like nobody's there for me. Nobody cares about me. I just have to do everything. I don't even get sleep. I was really feeling sorry for myself. And that is when I was like, so in my awake time, and then I was just laying there in conversation, and so I'm like going over, okay, so I understand I'm supposed to be seeing my own behavior. And that's when I started being like, okay, about understanding it and purging it and stuff like that. And so on some of the things I was like, it's just like, it's just to witness it. It's like a letting it go kind of thing, but it isn't just just so you micromanage yourself and cut yourself out of your own emotions. And because then you're judging yourself. And so everything is like such a fine tuning, man. Such a fine tuning. And what is so crazy is how much of it is your own self, because it's your own judgment on your own self. And, and you can really beat yourself down when you sit there feeling like, I'm a complete idiot. I fucking lose my mind over the smallest shit. And though that has also been a part of my lessons, and what I know that they're here for is to help me learn how to be more patient, to help me learn and manage my own self. But it isn't to cut parts out of yourself. It isn't so that you stop being you. It isn't. This is much more of it's just much more fine-tuning yourself. It's much more of I don't know, I feel like we got to get a lot more into observation of ourselves, of just looking at ourselves and witnessing ourselves and seeing ourselves, but not sitting there being like, well, I will never act that way again, because I probably will. And to not be mad at myself that, I have emotions and I get pushed to release them in an angry way sometimes. It's not like I'm harming anybody. Well, I'm harming their feelings. And it's weird too on different levels, because I was like, on one level, I know they understand what the fuck I'm talking about. I know they do. And then on another level, it is kind of like, I lecture them, but it's not, it's like dogs don't stop and think about what they're about to do. Like what we are learning how to do. Like something we're learning to do. And then I guess there's an expectation that I must have that the dogs are doing that too. Like, you guys need to think about this. And so I was like, no, they're not gonna, I just gotta close the closet door. I gotta close that whole room off, because they will go in there and steal my fucking clothes. And one day he went in and peed on my boots. And so anyways, I have a lot of boots too. But anyways, it is like they're not going to stop and go like, oh, I better think about that. Should I go do that? And then make a rational decision like that. Stella is pretty good about that, but we've been together for 8 years. So yeah, she knows me and I know her. But these two new guys though, they're just getting to know me and understand me and stuff. And Stella knows, like she knows that mostly when I get mad, it has been definitely at night when I woke up. And I got pissed when that girl was staying here. And she'd stay in her room and lock herself down all day, and then at night come out and start going in the kitchen and doing things and stuff. And I'm laying right here sleeping. I was like, hell to the no. kitchen's closed. Like, no, like, where in the hell is your boundary? That's where I was like, man, kids that have been raised in the system, they don't have like, home rule. Like, they have a different way of existing. Like, my kids were raised in like, no, go, there was like a time period and the kitchen's closed. It's not like time to get up and start doing shit. When they become teenagers, yeah, they'll get up and go in the middle of the night or whatever and get snacks or whatever. But anyways, it is I don't know. There was just different things. But I definitely got really pissed about that too. I did. I was, I don't know, it was pretty much a meltdown, I guess. Anytime I get angry or something, I guess I look at it as a meltdown. And so anyways, the Max and Archie. So it would be like me having an unrealistic expectation of them that would keep me angry. And so, I also have to look at my own rational thought and stuff. And it is so much more about just like witnessing yourself and understanding yourself. But it's hard to not judge yourself. Like, I was totally like, as soon as they're back snoring and stuff, I'm just like, feel sorry for myself. But then it's like, I got to go into, what's really going on, and looking at myself, and you're always, it's just so much more shame and guilt you have over your own stuff. That's the thing, what I keep saying is people are going to feel so much shame and guilt. Like, oh, that word that I was trying to think of yesterday. I watched a few different movies. I was in movies going while I was crocheting. Now I'm out of yarn. I have to wait for more yarn to get here. But the word that I was trying to say was in two different movies. Two different people said it. One, I think, was a cop, and one maybe it was both of them were cops, because I watch a lot of those mystery cop movies, old ones. And then plus I got on that one guy, Holy Critics thing. Like, every movie that would end, another one would come on, and he's really into those, like Brian Dennehy and Richard Crenna and stuff. So I was like, hell yeah, we got the same taste, dude. So except for then I was too much into the political ones yesterday. And those just pissed me the motherfucking off. Like, god damn, they've been telling us this. They were telling us all this shit the whole fucking time. And the one I was watching yesterday was Cheryl and Finn. And it was exactly motherfucking what I talked about with the espionage. They get these mercenaries, like these, and this one was FBI. This was FBI, all the bad guys in the FBI against the good guys, like. And the bad guys get hired by these unseen people. It's the people who own the corporations and the banks, man. And they, like I said, they have this, like, there's this espionage that goes on with these groups. And they don't care. Like, if they harm us, it's like we're nothing in this game. And so anyways, that movie was just really driving that home. And so after that one, I was like, fuck, I gotta change it up or something. I think I went back onto black and white. I got off of that one. Or I have a couple of different ones that I like, because Cult Classic, I don't know, I'd have to look them up if anybody was looking for ones for movies on here. I like on here because even on Prime now, it's got commercials. On here, I don't have any commercials. In Prime, you pay, and you still have commercials. In Hulu, Netflix, I don't know what Netflix is doing. I'm not on any of those anymore, but Hulu was making you pay for no commercials, and then I think it just keeps going up and going up. I think also with that one, YouTube has been kind of, but YouTube still makes me mad because they fucking fuck with my videos. So sometimes I'm just like, why do I support these motherfuckers? But I don't have commercials, and so I can watch movies and another movie just starts, and so it just is movies. And usually when something's coming on, something will catch our attention, and it's like, oh, this is entertaining. And so but so let me think, I gotta go dial way back from there. So, um, yesterday, and I went to the store, and it was weird. Everything looks so weird. It looks so weird to me outside. It's like a different color. Everything's a different color to me. And I don't know if this red light has done something to my eyes or what, but something's changed. And to me, but it's been changing consistently this whole time for me. Oh yeah, there was another thing I want to talk about. I don't know if I finished talking about that one. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, if I finished that one, but this one was something else that I had been thinking about. And I don't remember what got me thinking about it the other day, and I was going to talk about it the other day. And then something else came up. I don't remember what it was, but I was talking about something else and I didn't even think about it. But so this is coming up again because now I'm seeing it come up in like the general public or something. This happens all the time. It's so trippy. And so I had been thinking about these guys that I knew that had really, really bad bodies, like bad, like not good looking bodies. And out of what is that? Oh yeah, the word I was trying to think of. I'll think of it. But the body thing. So guys that like, don't take care of themselves at all, just don't have a good body, and but how those guys will be the meanest about girls' bodies. Like they will act like they're hot shit, and then any girl is inferior to them, and they will talk smack on their bodies. And I had been thinking about that and thinking about, it's so weird. And I was thinking about the different people who I had known and the shape they were in and how judgmental that they would be on other people. And I was just like, man, that's weird. What is the drive behind that? Anyway, so that has come up to the surface now because apparently some girl, I don't know, I think her name is Shannon Sweeney or something. I don't know. I heard somebody saying she's an actress. I don't know who this person is at all. But she, I don't know if she was saying paparazzi were following her, trying to get shots of her in her bikini. I'm not sure. This whole thing is weird. And I don't really know that much about it, except for I keep seeing people talking about how the reactions and how the women can't even fucking believe how the men are reacting. They're just so disgusted. And some of them have gone in to look at the guys and stuff. And it's like, you're not even attractive. And you're sitting here talking like this about this girl. And she looks good. There's nothing wrong with how she looks. I guess, I don't know. I've gone on a million times to try and find this girl in the purple swimming suit thing. Because I keep seeing all these people talking about it. And I see this girl, I think is her in a different swimming suit. And I don't know, like, the video I saw of somebody talking about her, they were talking about she was like too big in the chest for the rest of her body. And which that's the Hollywood ideal. So I don't know if this is the person or whatever, but all the guys keep on saying that she is fat, she looks horrible and stuff like that. And all the girls are like, she looks so good. What are you talking about? Like, that is a fucking normal looking girl. Like, what are you fucking talking about? I wish I looked that good. And so that's the thing between the men and the women. It's just trippy. And it's weird how I'd been thinking about that. I got to think of this word. It's not abolish. It's when you're going to somebody else for them to take away your pain, take away your sins, take away your feelings. You're looking for this. I'm sure other people are saying it right now, and they're getting irritated by me. It's got just pop in my mind. It was so funny though, because I was stuck like this and I couldn't see it. It just jumbles. And then And then it was in 2 movies, 2 different ones. I was like, oh my gosh, what is the chances of that? Well, in a supernatural world, I guess it's pretty good because this other side is communicating all the time. But still, I don't know why I have such a problem with this word. There's some words and they like start together, just like the one the other day when I was talking about Kate Blanchett, only it was really Kate Beckinsale but I kept on being like Kate Blanchett, but no, it's not Kate Blanchett. But see, I was getting Blanchett and Beckinsale. So sometimes it's a letter that will get me stuck. Like I can see part of it, but I can't see the whole thing. And so this word, every time it starts being like, is it abolish, dominant, abomination? It's like it starts going through all these words where I'm trying to like figure the word out. But it's, I don't know, I think probably, like I said, is probably why some people wear the masks and do all that concentration and stuff so that they don't run into problems like this. But I figure, you know the word I'm talking about. But it is what people are looking for. They were looking for it in the movies. And they're looking for someone to take away their pain, take away how they feel so that they don't have to feel bad and feel like that they're doing wrong or something. But what I think, like I said, is I feel like it's much more of us just to be aware of ourselves, to be an observation of ourselves. And we're not supposed to, like, in this whole thing of like, where a lot of people are like, you gotta kill your ego and all this stuff. The shadow self, or the shadow work, or the darker side of yourself that you ignore, isn't that you need to kill it. You need both sides of you. You need both sides to be whole. The whole thing is you got to find balance. So I guess it would be kind of like if we just look at my own behavior. Like if I look at my own behavior, how I look at it, like, so if I was having a meltdown, like every 12 hours, like we'll see if I haven't calmed down now. But if I was having a meltdown and kept having a meltdown and kept having a meltdown, then it would be like, okay, something's going on. Like I've got to, I need more time to myself. I need something has got to give. And so sometimes you need to have that awareness. Like, oh, I thought this was kind of a good one. Because my daughter called me the other day, and she doesn't, like, usually if I see her, I have 4 daughters, but and the 2 younger ones are the ones that aren't talking to me right now. They're university grads, and they've got a dad who has zero respect for me. So there is, I think there's a lot going on there besides just that, mom's weird, and I think, everybody's going to see their own stuff, when things flip. So whatever it is, it will become more clear. But anyways, the other daughters, the older 2, the oldest one, she usually just texts me, and she doesn't call. The younger one, or the next one under her, she calls. Like she has, her son will call me. He likes to call on the phone. He likes to FaceTime. So he likes to call people on FaceTime. He's been sick lately, and there's this whole thing with the pneumonia thing. And like it's getting really serious. And so, and he's been sick. And so anyway, she called me, and it was her, and it wasn't FaceTime. It was just a call. And so, and she was really sad, and she was really, you could tell in her voice that she was like, stressed out and sad. And so I was like, what's up? And she said, her boss just fired her, or it wasn't just fired her. It was this whole weird thing. And so, but she's had other things with this boss. This boss is quite clear, and she lives in a place, even though she's white, she lives in a place that's mostly Mexican. And this guy isn't Mexican. He's a different ethnicity. And sometimes there's certain ones that have total attitude towards other ones. Like there's a lot of racism out there in the world against different, the way people look at themselves being over other people or something. So anyways, but this guy is very, women have their place, like, and she's had these interactions with him a lot. So to me, it was like, well, it's probably a positive to get the fuck away from him. And but so while we were talking about the scenario, because she even said, well, I know that everything that happens for a reason, and there's a reason, and it's to open doors. Right now the universe is trying to get you out of bad situations, but it's the week before Christmas, and now you don't know that you're getting a check, and then their whole thing is like, well, I said they're using him, her son's sickness, because I bet you he has got money issues. He can't afford to pay, and so they're trying to just be like, "Oh, you don't need to come in." And so then she said, "Okay, I'll go stay home with him." And then they said, "Well, we're just taking you off the books altogether." So see, and he doesn't want any unemployment things on either. And she said that she already knew that because he has said that so much. And I was like, see, they're just trying to make it that you are stepping down. He's doing some shady shit. It was quite clear. I said, it's good to get away from somebody like this. And better things are going to open up. So anyways, in our talk, which was a positive, at the end, she was feeling a lot better and a lot more like, oh, okay, yeah, because, this really does give me time to be with him and help him. And then we were talking about the natural stuff to do, get the onions in his socks, get the potatoes in his socks. I told her about making the ginger honey cough syrup stuff. And so all of the different things that you can do naturally, especially if you're home more. So anyways, it was something that seemed like really scary and hard and sad. By the end of the conversation, it had turned and she was feeling a lot more positive and a lot more like, she'll get something better. And she was putting up with a lot. This guy did have a really big attitude against women. And so anyways, she, will be better for her once she gets something different. But in this time, that's why, the universe has got you going where you're supposed to be. It will push you to be where you're supposed to be all the time. And so when you're being pushed into where you are supposed to be, that's where you got to try and understand, especially if it's someplace you don't want to be and you think you need to be somewhere else, then it's like you got to look at it and try and understand, because there's a reason. There's a reason. Everything has a reason. And even though some of the times it's like, especially like, fuck, man, they've been living like in this isolation for so long and stuff. It's just like, and I don't know, I just feel like very cut off from community. Like, even though there's people out here, but it's not like community. Even though some people have come out and built a community with other people. Like, I know the neighbor lady with the little kids, like there's a lot of moms who have grouped up together and they have like a little mom group thing. And I'm sure they all feel very much a part of the community. But there's just like, I don't know. There's got to be more, too, for community building. I've even come up with so many things, because that was my whole thing of even getting on the HOA, was about community building. And then they kept wanting it to be, well, it has to only be our neighborhood. It can only be our neighborhood. They can be invited to anything. I was like, well, that's stupid. And how's that building community? Well, they can't just come here and take advantage of us. This HOA shit is such bullshit. And there's more going off on the HOAs, or, because it's ridiculousness. Like, they just Google search somebody's, they're going on, this one was going on Google Maps and looking in people's yards for things that they could complain about, and found an old shed in somebody's yard and said that was against, in their fucking backyard, in a fenced backyard. The HOA is going to tell somebody you can't have a motherfucking shed. When they walked by and saw that I put a fence up, they were mad. And to me, that is a temporary fence anyways. It's not even concreted in. It's a farm fence. It's so, but they think that they can tell you everything. Like, how, like, it is so ridiculous. And it's so ridiculous because you get people who are on those boards who feel just like they think they can. And it's just like, oh my God, I don't know. There's just so much about this system that's such a fucking bullshit. But it's always the people. Like, the people are what keep it going. because they feel like that same attitude. I saw a girl, this one was crazy too, because I liked her video, and then I unlike. I've done this so many times because I'll be really liking what someone's saying, and then all of a sudden it just turns, and it's just like, I can't like that. And so this one, so this girl, she goes to the grocery store, and this is just up the street. And so she goes into the store, and the town is way bigger than my town, way bigger. And I have to drive through it when I'm leaving. And so when I'm especially going the back way, the way I go, I have to go through this little town. And so, and it's pretty big. I would say it's probably as big as Bellingham, but I don't know for sure. And then, but it's called Cedro Woolley. And so she goes into the grocery market, and she said the person in front of her was doing something weird. I can't remember. Something, it was taking a long time. And so she's right behind him, and she's just being like, ugh. And then there's an old man behind her, and then another old man behind her. And she said that the two old men were getting really frustrated. And so the fourth guy, he starts bitching. He starts saying rude shit. And so the girl who's second in line is getting pissed because of this rude old man. So she turns around and she just says, shut the fuck up. And so then the store manager comes over to her and tells her she's going to be kicked out of the store if she doesn't calm down. And so then the girl's story is like, that's when it took the turn, because then she's like, this stuff is going to keep happening. It's not going to stop. And he hasn't even started yet. He hasn't even gotten in the office yet. We're going to have 4 more years of this. 4 years. And I've seen so many of these fucking videos of these people crying. There's 4 years of, and to keep pointing out some person's bad behavior, and then they keep blaming it on Donald, which Donald now is out sporting a new hairdo. Like, out of all this time now, he's got a new hairdo. So I don't know what's all up with that. There's people who are saying that's not him, that's not him. And I don't know if it's going to be something. I mean, it could be something about disclosure of med beds. You know, maybe it's taking him back to his younger version of his hair or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It definitely, his hair is different and he looks different. So, I don't know, all these things that just got to keep playing out. But I just cannot even believe how some of these people think, like, all this bad behavior, and they somehow, I mean, are they trying to say over the past 4 years it's fucking been a dream? Things have been going so good. It's been so great. The last 4 years have been so fucking great. The 4 years before that was hell because all the racists were everywhere. But after that, we had a great 4 years. But now we're going back to the racist time. And she was darker skinned. I don't know. I think she said she was Jewish in her thing. And I was like, for one thing, I'm pretty sure Donald was very supportive of him because he has a grandchild who's one, and his daughter's married to one. So I think he's pretty much he's not somebody who's going to be like, oh, go pick on the Jews. Like, what the hell? I can't believe these people who all think like, and some old man acting bad. Like, what? It is weird. It's weird because they just seem so cut off from reality. And what is it? Oh yeah, there's some Joe out. You know, they've asked him now. I don't know. He's shuffling around somewhere, and they stop and ask him like, "What is it? What about the drones situation?" Which they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I've seen videos now. They're everywhere. They're just everywhere. Everybody's got them. They're over all the states, I think. And they're all over the place. So, oh yeah, and over Australia, there is a giant mothership, and you can't see the ship, but you can see the cloud. It's like the cloud looks like a ship. It's weird. So, and that one's giant. And I think I've seen some other people show. Oh yeah, the guy in Florida, he shot that giant mothership. and how underneath it, even the ground was like, it was weird. It was so weird. And I wish I could, like all this stuff, because he was saying, because he's in contact with them or something, and he was saying that they're trying to get us to see that this is like a simulation or something. I don't know. I'd have to watch his video again to see what it was he was saying, but they're trying, he was saying they're trying to get us to see something. So if it is, yeah, if there's all these motherships all over us, all these drones going, because it could be the drones are trying to go around to, but there's not just drones. That's the thing. There's other ships up there. There's beings up there. There's all sorts of shit. Like, so, I don't know. I wish something would hurry up. I swear to God. It's like, God. That's what gets me the most, I think. It's just the way this just drags on and on and on. And it's like, especially when it's this close. It's like, we got to be this close to the flipping, for everything to flip. And it's so tedious, man. And it's just like, and I don't know, what all has to fall, what all has to fall apart for this to happen. Hopefully, like, come on, just all the ships all of a sudden turn on, take away all of the coverings or whatever it is that they're, what do they call that? The things they hide behind. If they, all of a sudden, if all of that just went and we could see, man, that would be a big awakening thing. Like, no matter what, I always go into this like, I'll solve it for the universe. They're obviously stuck. They don't know what they're doing yet. It's like, that is not the case. But as I swear to God, I'll feel like, I'm trying to figure it out for them, because they don't. And so much of it is about just being able to go along for the ride. That is what I get over and over and over and over. You just got to go with the flow. You got to go on, you're on a ride, you just got to go on the ride. Stop trying to stop it. Stop trying to change it. Stop trying to interfere. Stop trying to make it into what you want. Just go with the flow. And it is, it's difficult. That is such a challenge, man. And so, all these things, all the things that we find challenging and hard are the things that we're here to just work on. But like I was shown, though, it isn't so you can just to get that out of you. It's like an awareness. Then it makes it more manageable. It makes it more, because anything that you start feeling like that you're not good enough, or you turn it into that judgment on yourself, that isn't what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to just be turning on yourself all the time and being hard on yourself and like you're not good enough, and we're not perfect. Like, we're not perfect at all. And it is also, it's almost like your imperfections are not really a reflection of you. When you're in your true form, like when you're in your true form and you're in the heavens and you're out of here and, it's different. Nobody is sitting there thinking, like, nobody is going to be up there, oh, yeah, you remember back there where you were playing Kelly? Yeah, you used to have meltdowns all the time. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. And but it's so crazy, because in this in between, how hard we are on ourselves. And but when you get into this other realm, the higher realm where you come from, but there still is the in between. And I swear to God, we're in the in between. We're in this in between realm. This and I swear that is this how it is, like this facing yourself, this time of mirrors or something. It is like we're in this the same kind of thing as like you go to for a life review, only it's more condensed. Like, this is more of it, like you're going around and then you interact with somebody and it provokes you into these memories or reliving something. So it is, so you see yourself, you can see your own behavior. The only thing I've noticed is, like I could sit here and just get stuck and feel sorry for myself and blame the dogs, which, I got them all. And even with, I was okay with just Stella and Max, and then but it's the videos and shit nonstop. Like the slaughter that is being done on dogs right now is criminal. Like this should not be. This should not be at all. Like this is outrageous. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe that we accept this, and I can't believe we call these places shelters. Shelters? How is it a shelter? It's a fucking slaughterhouse, man. They're fucking mass murdering. It's like, this should be criminal charges. There was one girl, I was talking about it in this one video. I said something, I don't remember, it was on TikTok. And this one girl came in and she said, I used to work at a shelter. And, because I said something about they're selling into the food thing. Especially like at the same time right now, we have the food festival, the dog food festival going on, and wherever that is, where they just round them up and eat them, and it's fucking horrible, horrible, horrible. And like you just people who eat other animals act like other animals don't have any feelings about it. Like all the animals are cool with it. Yeah, it's cool. So but she said that the shelters are all right next to dumps. And she said they just put them down and then they just take them off the dump and throw them in the dump. I don't know. I don't know about that. That would be a lot of wasted meat that they can sell. And why would they be taking all of that money and putting it towards the medicine to take them down? Especially when they don't even feed. It's not like they're feeding them good food. And most of the food and stuff is always donated from other places and stuff. Like, I mean, that's the whole thing behind these government places. It's supposed to have all this grant money. But the grant money is not going towards taking care of animals. It's not even giving them, like, a healthy way to live. They cage them. It's in prisons. It's like animal prisons. And then they're just waiting for the death penalty. And right now, it's like death penalty, death penalty, death penalty. They get like a couple days. And there's also been noticed that how much of them are especially slaughtering any dog that looks like a pit bull. Any. And there's so many mixed dogs that look like it. And even when Max was out, when Max got out, when he first moved here, when he first started living here, and the neighbor lady, and I heard her, and she's like, it's probably a pit mix. It's like, that's people's attitude. People are so fucking hateful. And then they don't think dogs should make noise. They don't think anything should be able to be free and live its own life. They want control, and they get angry, and I don't know. Like, I know there's people out here who get really pissed when my dogs go out and bark. And to me, it's like, dogs are supposed to be able to go out and bark. Like how in the world would we be able to live if every time we open our mouths, someone tells us to shut up? And it's like, that's rude. It's just not, like, how can you expect something to live like that? To never make any noise or anything. And there's so many fucking videos. Like, it's not even just the shelters. There's so much abuse going on just at homes with people's dogs. Like, this one lady, she kept showing this and calling animal control and everything. And her neighbors, just like a patio off of a apartment. You know, those little tiny patios in the dead of winter, in the cold. And that's where their dogs live, this little tiny thing. They don't get to go in the house. They just open the door crack, throw them out some food and water, apparently, and then shut the door. The dogs don't ever go in the house. And the neighbor who's been videotaping it said it's like the crying and stuff. It's like, it's crazy. But there's so many of these kinds of things. So many people doing that kind of stuff. Just not caring about, like, the animal as a soul. Like, it's a living being. is a thinking, living being having an experience, and it's a part of your experience. And when you're making their experience treacherous, that's going to come back on you. Like, what goes around comes around. And, you know, I mean, it's just the way it is. It's not like because I'm trying to say it in a mean way or something. It's just the way the universe works. And so that is where you can, you know, these people, I have to remind myself sometimes, is like these people are all in the midst of their lessons. Like, these are going to be hard lessons for some people. But there's so much, like, there's certain acceptances in our society, and certain things, like, people just don't talk about it. And kill shelter, I feel like we got to stop with the even having shelter. It's got to be just the slaughterhouse. You know, if your dog gets picked up, it goes to the slaughterhouse. A little while later, it's going to be taken out because the counties and plus even how it said all these there's vets and stuff coming out and saying that the that program for the dogs is a euthanasia program. It's just to make them sick. And I know Stella has had so much sickness. I didn't get Max anymore. I took him when I very first got him because he was a foster. Took him to the clinic up there and got those ones. And after they do them, then they said, well, pugs can have a really bad reaction. I'm like, oh, cool. And but then after he was here for a while, then it was just like, I don't know, it was hard to let him go. And so now I got 3 dogs. And, but they're really good. They really are really good. I mean, I don't think like he's, you know, unusual or something. I just got to be wiser about my stuff. I got to make sure I don't leave anything down. No clothes can be left down. And both of them to stand up and use their long arms to pull things out too. And they're always looking for tissues and shit to tear up. I can't even tell you how many times I turn around and fucking Archie's sitting there chewing on something. I have no idea what. He just goes around, finds little fucking pieces of garbage. And Max, he'll go into the bathroom trash because it doesn't have a lid on it. And he'll pull stuff out. Like, I can't even put stuff in the bathroom trash anymore because he'll pull it out. But I think that, you know, it's just like dog stuff. I don't think that they're a bad behavior. I mean, Max has definitely his thing with not moving when I ask him and having to push him more out of the place. That irritates the fuck out of me. But, you know, I mean, that doesn't mean he's going to be like doing that forever. I'm going to keep being consistent, and he'll eventually, I'm sure, catch on and do better. And the same with Archie and his bullying and stuff. I just got to be consistent. And luckily, I'm home with them all day long, so I can be more consistent and push more on behaviors that I appreciate and get rid of the behaviors that I don't appreciate, but more in a gentle way, not in a, you know, losing my mind, feeling sorry for myself, whining and crying and throwing shit down on them. I had a box too, like a little box. It wasn't like a big box, it was this little box. But, you know, when you hit, the dogs can't stand that sound like newspaper or something. That's what I used when I was trying to train her. I could just get out a magazine and I would say, you want this? You want this? And she would be like, no. And if she wouldn't calm down or she wouldn't stop, whatever, I would just hit the magazine, and they cannot stand that sound. I don't know what it is. They don't like that sound of that snapping paper thing or something. And so I had that little box, and I was hit it against the thing. And I didn't make the same snappy noise, but I know that was still is like, oh. So, and I've had to use this water spray bottle before on Archie when he's losing his mind. But I've literally only had to like spray him twice, I think. Usually all I have to do is get it out and see and calms down. And so it can also, but see, the behavior I'm trying to change on Max, it's like, it's not rowdy. It's more of like, just, I don't know, more, yeah, disobedient for sure. but not listening, and just especially when I'm trying to get him up and he just sinks back down and further when he knows what I'm doing. And then when I get him out and he just turns around and goes back in, like that's just so I don't know, maybe having the box and hitting it and try, I don't know. It's just trying to get him to, or keep treats on me at all times. But every time, like if you try and do treats when you have other dogs, it's an ordeal. And so it's, even when I had first gotten Stella, because when I was going and taking her to school, is I also had taken Lucy. And having a great big dog, you got to be, you can't just do it willy-nilly. And I mean, it's a 165-pound dog. And she wants to run the show. And if you let them run the show, like she will run the show. It was one of the things that they told me, I think it was when I had Lucy, when I very first had her, because she was a puppy. She died when she was a puppy. And she'd be running and playing, and then she'd get so excited, and she'd come, and I would be sitting on the couch. She would come and put her hands over me, over the couch, and have her face above me. And then when I went to the dog training class, they said, you cannot let your dog do that. That is very much of them overpowering you, and you cannot let a big dog do that at all. So it was very much of always having to not let the big dog overpower me. So what I've always done is like, I just stand up real quick, because then all of a sudden I'm really big. And that always gets them to back down. That always has been with Stella. She's always she doesn't try and push me but she does make herself known, like her whining or hitting the bell, or like she's emotional and she has an attitude, but she's not aggressive. She's a sweetheart, but she definitely wants things to be her way, and she knows how they should be. And but that is also why I wanted her to be a part of whatever dogs I had, to be raising them, because of her, because she does have like rules, and like she's just smart. She does think things through. She does think about stuff, and I can explain things to her and stuff. So yeah, and I've had that relationship with her for so long. And when I was with Winston, because Winston and her were together for the first couple of years of her life, it just trips me out now, like that, how much time has passed, like how long he's been gone, and how long I've been in this house, when I got this house, like it is weird. It is so weird how much time has gone on. How much time has gone on since quarantine. Like it's about to be 2025. Like it is so weird. I don't know. To me, it was definitely once quarantine happened, life changed for me. Life 100% changed for me. And it didn't ever change anything going back. It's always stayed going in this direction. And it definitely has put me more into isolation. And it definitely puts me more into a lot more mindful thinking about things and stuff. Like even, like my daughter's like, I wish you could come for Christmas. And it's so crazy because you think like, oh, 3 hours, that's not that far. You could zip over there. Like to drive over to Olympia would take 6 hours. And to drive to Spokane would take 6 hours. And so you'd think, oh, 3 hours, that's not too bad. Well, it's not 3.5 hours. But the thing is it's the drive. It's like you're going through the mountain passes, and then you got to go through hours of heavy traffic. Not just like, no, it is going through a metropolis. It is like all the towns. Once you get even close to Everett, the traffic's already started. And it goes all that ways. So all those places is so much traffic. And then the weather. So it's like, man, it's just treacherous. And then plus everybody also is like, well, now you got 3 dogs. It was enough when you were just bringing Stella everywhere. Now you got 3 dogs, so nobody really wants you to be coming and staying with them. And it's like, I don't really want to be coming and staying with anybody. I don't want to. I'm always like sleeping on somebody else's couch. And it's always uncomfortable. And even when it was just me and Stella, it was like, no, I would much rather have my own place to stay. And but that's the things like where you're putting it out into the universe, and then you're just waiting to see what comes back. As I've definitely had those realizations of this. There's so much more to me about the independence, about taking care of yourself and what you need and stuff. And because I could get very caught up in like, my grandkids and then other grandma around and stuff like that. And I do want to go over and see them more, but it's like I can't burden my own self out like in order to please somebody else. And so anyways, driving through all that weather, I'm going to try, I said maybe in February, but February can be just as fucking treacherous. Like, it's fucking because you got to go through the mountains is the thing. And I got to leave from this one, then drive through all these little towns, then go through the metropolis, then it's right back into the mountains, get through those ones, then go out of them, and then go right back into some other ones. And so it's just as fucking intense, man. And another thing too, it's like not everybody's running over here to see me. It's just 3 hours away, but not everybody's running. Well, there's not enough room. Well, there's not enough room for me anywhere. So it's just, I don't know. It's just all of the things. It's just like, I don't know. You just see more and more, but it's like it doesn't solve it, doesn't fix it. And it still is, I'm not ever around my family. And it's so weird because that used to be my whole thing for so long. And now I've made this new family, I guess, with my dogs. Now I'm like a little family with my dogs. And it's like, it's weird too, because like none of my kids or anything, like my son-in-law came and he got to know the new guys. And he was liking them so much. He was having so much fun with them. He thought they were such characters, just like I did. Like, they were so funny. How could I send them away? Like, they just come, like, I don't know. And, but I'm not doing any more fostering. Just because, like, fuck, no. And it's hard, too, to see all these. And I just saw one, a really cute, big old dog, though. And not very far from here, stuck in a shelter. And it's just like, there's so many. And then these people just out keep having all these puppies. And I saw one lady who was talking about this golden doodle thing, or one of the doodles. And she said she was talking to somebody and they said, oh, it's a double doodle. And she's like, what's a double doodle? And he said, well, it's comes from a doodle, then it has another doodle. So it's not these other dogs bred to have this dog. And so it's just doodles having doodles or something, which apparently they're not supposed to be doing. They're not supposed to be doing that. And I think that's also, they're not supposed to do that with the French Bulldogs if they're not supposed to do that with the doodles. But see, people don't care. And then they just want to go and have all these cute puppies, but all these dogs are just ending up being in the shelters and stuff. That is weird. Like, I haven't seen very many doodles in the shelters. That is weird. There's so many huskies, labs, pits, just tons of mixes, tons of mutts, and not a whole lot of purebred dogs. But there is some. Usually those ones I think go to rescues. I don't think they stay in the shelters as long. I think rescues hurry up and grab them up because then they sell them like fucking Max or Archie's big bucks, man. And he's from a rescue. So that's why I'm making payments. I can't even pay it all at one time. And so they grab those dogs up, and he isn't even pure bred. He's some kind of a mix. He's not just pure pug, even though he looks like a pug. He looks, even though the people who I had talked to who had seen him like at the vets and stuff, they always say, he's the cutest pug. He doesn't look like a pug. He's so cute. And they always, all of them kept saying he looks like a miniature English Mastiff. And I was like, I know, isn't it the cutest? Because I have an English Mastiff. So it's like this big one and this little one's like the mini-me going around. And so I just think it's cute. But anyways, Archie's still a terror. If I was just doing it for cuteness, then I'm getting terror and is the repercussion. And I still have this word going in my mind trying to catch it. And I know I had said it one time because I got stuck on it, I don't know, a few months ago, because I was talking about it. And I got stuck on it then too. But I did remember what it was at one point. God, it's so weird because it's like I can hear the guy saying it in the movie. I can't give you a bond. I can't give you a bond. Man, that is so weird. It's like I want to go look it up. But I can't because that would stop this thing if I went to go look it up. So then it would be pointless. Well, I guess I could say it in the comments, but I swear to God, I feel like people already think of it. I think when I'm sitting here struggling, it doesn't mean that people who are listening to me struggle. So anyways, let me think. What else besides it? I bet you that too is something with the energy is why the extra frustration. It makes it a lot harder to contain yourself. So everything that is going to be pushing up and pushing out of you is going to be a lot more deeper. And the more deeper it is, sometimes it's the more harder to see. Especially like, because I could get all caught up in like, oh my God, I'm so healed. And now I'm not healed at all because I'm sitting here yelling at my dogs. And, but see, it's not about that. It's not about, being the winner and being the most healed and never having bad behavior and stuff. It's kind of like about accepting yourself and understanding yourself and not trying to just, like, well, I'm too good to ever be angry. I'm above that. It's like, how could you be above that? How would you cut yourself off from ever being angry and ever feeling anything? Like, are you cutting yourself out of your own emotions? Because how is that healthy? You got to be more in touch with your emotions and be willing to, I don't know. It always just seems like it has so much more to do with observation. It has so much more to do with just understanding yourself. And it is definitely when you can see your own behavior, then it makes you a lot more softer on other people's behavior. Because how can you be so judgmental of other people? They're probably trying to. They probably have parts of them that they are not happy, that they wish that they were better. I never got mad about something. But, I mean, literally, when you think about it, how can you never get mad? How can you never have emotions? How can you never feel sad? How can you, like that? It would be impossible. And why would you even want it to be that way? Because then that's weird. Hold on a second. It was like something went down my throat, man. Oh, that hurt. If it wasn't one of those bugs that flew in my throat, then it was something trying to stop me from what I was saying. Because all of a sudden it was like a epiphany or something. Because it was like, okay, because it is like, when you are in your energy body doesn't feel. So it doesn't feel things. So you come in here to feel. So when you leave, it's almost like a remnant. It's almost like a memory of a feeling. And so you have an appreciation for feeling in your energy body. But then you get into this body and then you start shaming yourself and feeling like you're not good enough and that you should do better and stuff like that. But really, you leave the body that can't feel to come in so you can feel. So see what it's like you're going against yourself almost for what you're here for. You're here to experience what it is to feel, what it is to get mad, what it is to be sad, what it is to feel love, what it is to feel abandoned. You're here to feel what that is. And so to turn on yourself and say you shouldn't have these feelings is working against yourself. So it is much more about just this observation. Confirmation is observation of being able to just witness yourself to, because it does give a deeper understanding into yourself. But anyways, that just came into my mind. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. But then it was like, as soon as I started trying to say it, it was like something flew down my throat and just hit right there. And I was like, oh, that choked me out for a second. Man, it was intense. But that is the energies, too, that are around, like, as we are under attack. And that's another thing, too, is that they can go for our animals. It's a lot easier to mess with them. And when they are not doing well with messing with you, they'll start messing with them. And that can also add on to it. But that is also where you can transmute all the things, no matter what it is that they're trying to create for you to have frustration, which they hit me a lot of times. Like, I do get frustrated. I do get, I can't just let it go all the time. And, but that you, but there is some that I let go. But but so some of it is like these energy beings messing with you. Some is the energy, the overall energy on the planet. Some is the animal's own pursuit of enlightenment, I guess, as well. Is because they are also, everything has got to like expand. And so, anyways, we'll just wrap it up anyways, because I don't know. I still feel so fucking weird. I still feel like, and when I feel really weird too, it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, seriously, what am I doing? Like, what the fuck am I doing? So weird. Here she comes. And, let me think. If there's anything else. I keep wanting to fucking say that word. It's just been going and going and going in my mind as this sidebar thing. Oh yeah, let's look at my tooth. And to me, it looks like it just keeps closing in. The darkness is getting smaller. And don't forget when they showed me in my head, how they showed me it was the darkness it's not something going over the darkness. It is the darkness healing and turning to light. And so that is the change in the darkness. So it's not like the tooth is growing over it. It's like the tooth is growing out. That's what they kept showing me. It's growing out like that. And so, anyways, just keep that in mind. So I'll show you again. Oh, man, this lip. This isn't a cold sore. Because then the people were like, oh, it's cold. It's like I think I bit my lip. And now it's like got a bruise and a cut. And it's like it feels chapped. Like my lips are chapped or something. But it's like a bruise and a cut. And it's right here. And so I don't know if it's like I did something. Bit it. And I do that sometimes. If I'm, like I said, like when I'm sitting there and I'm just in deep thought, I can be biting my lip without knowing it. I think that's what I did. Or either I did it in my sleep or something. But it fucking hurts. And so anyways, I'll pull it down and show the tooth. I see that. I just can't even get, like, look at how much better. Remember when at very first, how there was so much orange. There was so much orange all around, and it looked like a hugest chunk was missing. Now I just feel like it looks so, like, in the top. Yesterday I did, what was it I made? Oh, I was making some potatoes. And I did choose some over on this side. And I swear, this part right here is already built up. That wasn't there. This top right there. I don't know. You'd have to, if you really wanted to, go take still shots and overlay them and really try and see. But to me, it's definitely, my tooth is growing back. And it's just so trippy because, I'd heard this and heard this and heard this. You grow your teeth back. And then I kept hearing about the med beds. We would grow our teeth back, which I was excited because I've had a lot of dental malfunction in my mouth, and so I was glad to grow some teeth back. And and then seeing these people who had done a lot of drugs and stuff and who had really jacked up teeth, talking about what they were doing, and they were healing their teeth. Not everybody was going and getting them pulled and getting dentures. Some people were going towards healing. See, these are the two things. And so those people, I kept seeing them talking about like their teeth healing and stuff. But then when it starts happening to you, it's also though with the hair thing, once this stuff happens to you, it's just, you start seeing things so differently. And you can't help but feel like, yeah, when we're doing well, which it's so crazy too, because I wouldn't exactly say like I feel like I'm at my top, you know what I mean? It's like yesterday, all of a sudden my wrist started hurting. It's like I keep having these weird aches and pains, all this congestion, all this sickness, whatever the sickness is they're fucking pouring on us all the goddamn time. And but it's still, and to me, it 100% has to do with the minerals. It has to do with the iron. And I have been putting that fish in my tea thing some too. But it does get rusty. And when I had looked it up about drinking the rust thing, but I don't know. It definitely gets rusty. And so I don't just leave it in there and drink it all the time. And I probably need to clean my teapot and stuff. And it's trippy too. Is like, I have seen where if you get rust inside you, like I've seen that be used as a murder weapon, as cutting somebody with a rusty thing, because the rust goes into your blood and it kills you. So it's like, I don't know. Some of these things are, you gotta, enter at your own risk. Like you gotta do your own figuring stuff out. Don't just do something because I say do it. Like go and research. Like hopefully it opens you towards a direction to start thinking in different directions. But 100% this mineral thing, our body needs them. And your hair starts changing, your skin starts changing, your teeth start growing back. So like, yeah, 100%. I say it's the minerals. And so, and also though, I 100% believe in in visualizing, because I could visualize it falling apart and I think it would have done that. But visualizing it healing, it's going to go that direction, because again, we've got a choice in two different directions, and we got half of us playing out one and half of us playing out the other. And what's going to be trippy is when it flips. This is going to be trippy because it's going to flip. and it's going to flip to the light. Like we've all had to become accustomed to the dark and living our lives in the dark in this upside down backward world. But when it flips, it's going to be crazy, because it's going to be right side up, but it's going to be so uncomfortable for some people because they had to become so comfortable into the upside down. And there were some people who were better because they came more equipped for it. And so it's like, there's a lot of things happening here. There's just a lot going on. And it all has to do with spiritual stuff. And it isn't just, like our governments. It's like these beings, these other beings that have been taken over and stuff. So anyways, we still have more to go. Hopefully this week we start going in a direction where it's more that mainstream or something. I look so forward to this flipping, or the lights coming on, or whatever it is. But definitely there is a lot to witnessing yourself. Like, I'm seeing it for myself, and it's coming like weird out of the blue. Like, all of a sudden I find myself just so irritated and so pissed off and feeling so used and feeling so neglected and all this stuff. So it is, and and don't forget, like, the message I got back from them is that is not so that you just stop being these things, so you stop being who you are, but it's much more about you just understanding yourself, and understanding that you're not perfect makes you a lot more flexible on the expectation of others to be perfect. So there's a positive to it. There's a reason for it. There's always a reason for everything. But just remember what we're really doing here, because I'm telling you, it all goes back to the same simple things, is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it is totally up to you. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.